So yesterday we went through this in quite a fast manner. So I wanted to highlight to you that hey, you need to realize that it says here the question, how long did it take to fill the tank completely? Essentially, it's asking you about this empty space in the tanks. So in the chapter of the volume, we did this before. Now, it will look very scary if you think like, wow, this question look very lengthy. But if you break down the ideas in this question, the topics step by step, that actually is not that difficult. So if you recall back then when I brought in the tank. If you cannot remember, you go back and check my YouTube channel for the old videos of our volume lesson where when I brought the plastic tank to class, and then there's some part of the tank being filled up. So part of the tank being filled up is like, you can say it's like I have two blocks. One layer that was already filled. So essentially, the question here for this page was not asking from an empty tank. It was asking that you need to fill the remaining part of the tank. So the remaining part of the tank is the space on top. So to find this space on top, there were two different ways. One is what I did yesterday, directly getting to, from here, the height of the tank where it's full, minus the height of the tank where it's 1/3. That is like 2/3 of the height. So you find 2/3. So this is okay already, everybody's inside. So everybody's is everybody think of it this way. You are asking to fill this part, which for here, under here, the volume here, this is 2/3 of the tank. Which some of you may find that it's easier if I go and start off with finding the whole tank. This is the whole tank. This is the whole tank. Then minusing the 1/3. Or from the whole tank, you divide by 3 parts, then you times 2 parts to find the missing part. Now, no matter what way you choose, right? The thing that I was trying to tell Skylar just now, you got to be very clear with your steps. Every step you're writing down, you are like explaining to yourself how does the steps work. If you do not do that, like what Skylar had an issue just now. Skylar, we got a switch activity now, it's 8:25. And I'm talking about the question you have trouble with. And then I said, hold on, I will answer it later. So now I'm looking at your question. So I'm going through particularly for you. And for some of our friends as well. So what problem that Skylar ran into? He was writing equations and equations again. Something that Brian used to do. Writing a lot of equations. Yesterday when I saw his last work, he was also full of equations, no heading, no nothing. Nothing that was really talking about the relationship. Then it got slightly better because of a reminder, or because maybe Shashank was beside him, remind him to put in some units. So with the units, the equations make a little bit more sense. So it is important that you help yourself to understand what steps you are. So I think some of you have a strength in that. Anaki is very good with that. Pranavika is very good with that. Ita is very good with that. Writing terms and information into your steps. so that it's easier to check and you know what you're doing, rather than just a jumble of equations. Now, the next two set questions are a bit different. You realize that it requires a bit more thinking now. For the supermarket question on the apples, you realize that there are two different kinds of rates. The apples can be sold in two different styles. One is in a bag of 5, and that's for $2. And another bag of apples, they are sold in bags of 10. And this goes for $3.50. Looking at this, can you tell, is it buying bags of 5 cheaper or buying bags of 10 is cheaper? 10, very good. Because you can see, if I buy 10 from here, if I buy 10 from here, that will mean 2 times $2. 2 bags. If I don't need to copy this part because I'm talking about if situation. So if I buy 2 bags of this, if you want 10, I can buy either 2 bags of 5. That will be $2 times 2, that will be $4. So looking at this, right, you can tell that if I want 10 apples, I just buy this straight away. $3.50 is cheaper. So you need to know there's a different rate and what sense it makes. Then the question, the most important part comes here. Is the least amount she needed to pay for apples altogether? How many apples is she going to buy? 55 apples. So you know that there are many ways of buying these apples. Now the question is I want, instead of if 10, now it's if 55 apples. If you want 55 apples, there are two ways of buying it. Number one, I'm not asking you to copy anything down. Do not copy anything down. I'm going through a if situations with you. As a person standing down there considering about buying apples, you got to think for Mrs. Teo. If I want to buy 55 apples, here's two ways to buy. I can buy how many bags of 5? Yes. Thank you, question. Now, if you talk about, can you please thank you. We are destroying. In fact, you need to understand now. In 8:31, I will not do my next one. Some of you are not going to attend the next. Now, as I was saying, the last two questions are a bit different. I told you not to copy anything yet because I want to go through each situations. Now, the question now is I need 55 apples. So there are two ways of buying. I can focus on all on bags of 5. So I get 11 bags. But just now we already discussed, it will not be the cheapest way because I can start with bags of 10 first. Because the key question is the least amount. So instead of getting 11 bags, I will go with bags of 10 first. So how many bags of 10 should I get? So from bags of 10, I need 55 apples. I'll probably go 5 bags of 10. Can I get 6 bags of 10? Actually can. But what do you end up with? 60 apples, more than 55. So that's not what you need. So I'll go 5 bags of 10 and you can figure out how much is that. Okay. And then, but that's still 50 apples only. So what else do you need? Yes. You need one more bag of 5. You should know the amount. And so altogether she has to pay. Okay. Reminder for your units. I realized there was a common error when I was marking your decimal word problems. For example, this part here. A lot of you when after you wrote your answers for your division or multiplication of decimals, you wrote $3.5. And this is a common mistake. You need to realize that for money, you need to write 50 cents because it's $3.50. It's not $3.5. So by reading convention, you read $3.50. So as you're writing the dollars and cents, you need to write $3.50. A lot of you stop at 3.5, which is a unit mistake. You minus the mark for units. You need to write 3.50. So can you check your final answer? You're writing it correctly. Okay, now we move on to a level 1 question. This one is an option. So there's a calculator, question 2. You can use a calculator. Yes. So page 100 and page 60 is homework. DIY. This one I want you let me go and check. I may have recorded previously. But I think you can try first. Okay? Yeah, hold on. This is page 60, question 2. Reminder, you can use a calculator. Try yourself first. Okay? It looks difficult, but actually it's not bad. The challenge is matching the units of time. Because you have the quantity of liter and you have the quantity of minutes. But eventually your answer is requested. Your answer needs to be in liters, but the given measurement is 5 hours. This is not minutes. So you need to convert 5 hours equals to how many minutes? I don't think it's particularly difficult, but yeah, because you can use a calculator to help you with calculations. So this is homework DIY. Okay. Right, let's go through this question first. On question 1, the leaking one. This is level 3 question. So we'll go through this last question before we call it a day. This is the one on the backs. Yes, you want to see this? So you are thinking about coming up with the best combination for buying apples, 55 apples. The one that saves you the most money, the top saver, just like the start of the chapter we talked about top saver. So the ideal situation is you buy 5 bags of 10 because it's cheaper to buy 5 bags of 10 than 10 bags of 5. And then you get another one bag of 5 because you need 5. Okay, the last question here. This one is really challenging. Here says, a water started to leak from a full container. So this is the first bit that was important. The container started with full. Now the challenging part is you look at this tank here. Do you give you length, breadth, height? No length, breadth, height. Then, oh no, it really looks a bit scary already. Now, then it has a timing. Then the timing also very scary. It doesn't give you minutes. You look at the measurements, your unit of measurement, it doesn't give you minutes. It gives you a timing. So you still need to find the duration. It gives you a start time. It gives you an end time, but it doesn't give you duration. Then you have a second duration here. So here says, at the start at 9:30 a.m., a basin was placed below to collect dripping water. So from 9:10 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., you 9:10 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., you collected 3.3 liters of water in the bowl. So this is here 3.3 liters. Then after that, you took another 15 minutes to empty all the water in the container. Then ask about capacity of the container. So I'll ask my race, I put it here. Eventually it's asking for capacity of the container, that means the whole tank. And it needs to be in liters and milliliters. So the first thing I need to do is, I need to find rate. There are two quantities here. Quantity one is liter, quantity two is time. But this time is tricky. I need to find the rate. So I can tell from 9:10 to 9:30, that's 20 minutes. So let's find the rate from here. The 20 minutes, I shall write here. The 20 minutes was 3.3 liters. Okay, so the 20 minutes was 3.3 liter. That is 20 minutes. I can convert the units now already. 3,300 milliliters. Now, I can convert from the 20 minutes is 3.3 liter. So this is 20 minutes. 20 minutes leak out 3.3 liter. Then from here, 20 minutes, right, give 3300 milliliters. I can find 10 minutes. To know how much milliliters that is the rate. Then from the 10 minutes, I can find 50 minutes. So I get 50 minutes. What's the volume in milliliters? From there, you'll be able to find the rest of the measurements, remember your answer needs to be in liters and milliliters. Conversion of units is the last step. Okay? Okay? That's about it. So it says here, first you need to find the rate. Then it says it took 15 minutes to empty the water. Then you need to find how much water is there in 50 minutes. Then from the 50 minutes, you find out how many milliliters. Now the key question here, do you think you have to add up whatever was in the bowl already? Here you go back and think. I leave it hanging here. You go back and think. So you have two questions, 59 on page 59 and page 60. Okay, the last part you go back and think. Do I need to add back the 3.3 liter or the 50 minute? This is the final answer. Okay? Okay, that's it. Homework is 59 and 60 and the rest of the questions. If any of the previous question you don't know, missed out, haven't do, it's all on YouTube already. Okay? Okay, thank you, goodbye.